Hey guys, welcome to the Cold North podcast. My name is Jacob, and today I'm joined by a very special guest, which is Nicolai from the band VOLA, which is one of my favorite new bands. They're not new, but to me, it's recently that I started listening to them. I've been so fortunate to having filmed them live a few times. I know that they're also working on a new album and maybe releasing some new stuff really soon, which I'm really excited about. And we're going to talk about the visual aesthetic of VOLA and the development and Nicolai's personal story. And I can't wait to begin. So let's just jump right into it. Hey man, thanks for joining me.
Hi there.
How's it going?
Nice to be here.
Good to hear.
It's going well. It's a little bit about to be busy. I don't feel busy yet, but I know I will be soon. So it's setting off a tour and all of that. And, suddenly there's just a lot of things happening, but it's not really happening yet. So
Yeah.
But I know I will be stressed.
Like calm before the storm.
Yes, a little bit.
Aren't the guys
just about being stressed?
Don't take your sorrows in advance, bro.
Yes.
Are the bands playing today? I saw on Spotify there was like a festival today. Is that real?
We're playing because we're playing in 2 days. And the live dates online, they always just have the whole festival.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
So it's like, I think the festival starts today, but we're not playing today. We're playing on Saturday at like Tangent in England.
Yeah, okay. That makes sense.
Flying out tomorrow.
Cool. So can we just start off by just giving me like your story of how did you get interested in music, more not in like the regards of the music sense, but like the visuals? Are there anything that when you like started out that you thought, oh wow, that looks cool, I want to be like that, or I like that aesthetic, or whatever it was? It could be an album, it could be an artwork, it could be a music video. Like, do you remember something that stood out when you were young?
Yeah, I think a lot from my generation. I'm 34 now. We're really inspired by watching a Danish program called Boogie.
Yeah.
Back in the day, because it was like a mainstream TV and it had all of these music videos. And just like seeing a good music video, I remember Car Park North, for instance, the Human video, which I think a lot of people, even outside from Denmark, actually know.
Was that the one in Greenland?
Music video. Sorry?
Was that the one in Greenland?
No, that's the one where they're in like a school with some kids. It's really, really cool one if you are a music video maker. It has some cool effects that look like they were made without a budget, but it works really well. So I remember seeing that one on that program, and I think that also inspired me to want to play music. Hearing music along with a video where it really, goes well. It can really add a layer that music is, an extra layer to music. In the best case, and sometimes it can also just be something to look at while you're listening to music. It's not that often I find that a music video really takes it to that extra cool level. It's so difficult to do well because no bands have budgets anymore.
Yeah,
I guess. But back in the day on the Boogie list, when I was watching that program, there was a lot of great music videos that I guess might have cost, like hundreds of thousands of dollars back then.
Yeah.
So that's also why they were pretty good, I guess.
It was also back in the day. Yeah. There's also back in the day when you couldn't really go on YouTube and watch new stuff. So you were presented with whatever they were showing in Boogie TV back then. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And I think maybe all the smaller bands didn't make music videos because there was no YouTube to put it up on.
Yeah.
So it was only big bands that had, a big budget from the record label. Basically, I guess the record labels had more money as well back then.
Yeah.
So there was just bigger budgets for the bands that made it to those lists. I guess MTV was probably also a thing still. I can't remember when they stopped doing music videos. Maybe not.
Yeah, I think maybe they stopped already in the 90s, and then it became like really like only like reality TV, basically, Jackass. Maybe like some late night shows.
Probably, yeah. But now that the boogie list has stopped, I'm happy that YouTube is there, so music videos still do come there, get out there.
Yeah, some of the earliest stuff I found from VOLA was a video recording of your rehearsal of a live take of one of your songs. I think maybe it was the EP, the first EP you did.
Yeah, it was the second one. I think we did
Okay.
some live from the rehearsal room. Yeah, it was a while ago. Good memories.
Yeah, a lot has
It was
happened.
like a live session video where we recorded the audio as well.
That's a good start. So, you know, the whole thing about being a band, like you're a musician, you're not really necessarily used to being on camera. So that was maybe a good start, you know, doing it on your own. So what I've noticed, like I just watched all the videos. What I noticed is, yeah, it took me like an hour or so, is the way you started out being like, you know, making more like performance videos where you were in the shot and actually kind of transitioning more into doing a lot of animated music videos, where a lot of stuff is happening that doesn't really necessarily get explained that much. It's more like from the eye of the beholder, like what is going on here. And I feel like it ties a lot in with like the way Asger writes lyrics, which is kind of esoteric as well. You don't necessarily have like a concrete meaning behind or symbolism. It's more about how does this make me feel and how well does it sing with the song. You know, how it fits with the vocals, the melody structure and so forth. But what I like about that is it makes you feel and get like sucked into it a lot more. And those visuals where you have like animated, because you've done a lot of them. You did it for like God and Moon, 24 Light Years, and Alien Shivers. And was that like really something you thought? You know, and we want to create a universe. We want to do like something that. How have you like worked with artists in that regard to like make that kind of a style?
Yeah, happy to hear that you think it works. I think starting to animate music videos was done out of necessity. You know, we didn't have any money, and so how can let's do like live session videos? We can film ourselves. That's free. If I try and learn how to animate different stuff, that will be free as well. You know, even though it takes such a some time.
Was you the one doing it?
Try and animate stuff. Sorry?
Did you do it?
Yeah, I've done all the animated music videos with my girlfriend.
Wow, I didn't know. Wow, cool.
So
wow, okay.
Like that's also why hopefully there's like a progression and they've all been made very differently.
Yeah.
Like it's very different styles that we have been just like trying out for fun. Both me and my girlfriends are really me and my girlfriend is really like animated films anyway. So it was a cool challenge to try and do stuff. So I think the first one we did was for a song called Emily, which is like paper cutouts.
Mm-hmm.
And then the latest one we did was for 24 Light Years on the latest record, which was like done in After Effects. And like I cannot draw anything, but my girlfriend is pretty good at it. But I think it's fun to try and make her drawings move. So I did that with After Effects, so that's a little bit more digital. Just fun to try different stuff, but it's just I'm surprised every time that we finish a project that we made it work, because it's so many hours and we have 2 kids now, and it's just not a. It's I think, as you know, music videos takes a long time, but animated music videos, especially when done by hand, when we've done that, it's just like it's absurd amount of time.
Yeah,
yeah,
it really is. But the thing is, because I noticed that, oh wait, this looks like cardboard cutouts or something that was drawn that was scanned in and then composited in After Effects. And then you use like some stock footage of like fires and stuff like that to make it, you know, because that would be insanely difficult to draw, you know. So, but the thing is,
exactly,
what is really fun about that is, even though it's made out of necessity, you like give yourself like kind of a framework. Okay, these are the boundaries. This is a budget I have. And then kind of what can I make work in that kind of setting there?
Yeah, and I think we are lucky enough, as you said, that Asger's songs are not telling you what to think. They can be about many things.
Mm.
So it's a wide window to make a video that goes along with it. There's more opportunities, and I don't really like to be told what to feel when I listen to music. I like when there's that layer of mystery in it where I'm not really sure I understand what the artist intended. I really enjoy listening to that. So I think we all in the band maybe gravitate a little bit towards that. So I haven't thought about it when making music videos, but I guess it's very natural as well to then tell a story that isn't like 100% clear either. Even though I have some thoughts about what it is about,
Yeah, of course.
And so, but it's not that direct. There's room for a little bit of mystery in it, which I think it's also because music videos you cannot they're not saying anything, the actors in it, or so you have to like either really showing it with here's this thing, and like it can be almost too told a story in a music video. I find when there is like we have to have this story put in, it can sometimes be a little bit a shame because they cannot use the words to explain it. It's just overshown visually.
Yeah.
But it's just also a very difficult balance. I'm really happy that I like some people have written and asked me about making animated videos for them, and I've just there's no energy. It takes so long time, so I'm really impressed by the people who can like do it for a living, and because it's really hard to keep it reinventing that wheel and getting new ideas, fresh ideas, in this 4-minute framework that you usually have.
4 minutes is a long time to do an animated short. Just if you did a short, like so.
But it's just also in metal music in particular, there's so many, I find there's so many, what's it called? Cliches.
Definitely.
So that's also sometimes really nice if you can try and break a little bit away from that, I find.
I think that defines VOLA really well, because you're kind of trying to, take inspirations in what is established already in the metal, but like do it in really your own unique way. And when you do that visually as well, I think the whole thing like comes up to like a higher level. The thing you did with I think you work with Rivata Visuals, is that correct? For doing some real music videos as well. The thing is, I think the symbolism and the way of approaching that, you kind of took that over to that level, to like the real music videos, if you can say that as well. A lot of symbolism, like for the music video for the Black Claws, where you have a lot of different characters in a white room, a lot of symbolism, religious symbolism, something about people having a tough time or like being chained or bound to something. That was my interpretation. And then everything completely like blowing up and collapsing and whatever at the end, which would fit together with the crescendo of the music. That whole thing, it seems like there's still like a red thread, even though it's kind of really visually, aesthetically different from the animated music videos. It still follows like a red line of, okay, this is more about feeling and symbolism than, as you say, it's not like a story from A to Z that you like get a start and an ending to. It's more like of a feeling. Does that make sense, or is that the way you thought about it as well?
I'm happy that you think so. I think when you're in it feels more messy.
Yeah.
Because we never think it through, like from the beginning of our career to where we are now. So it's nice that there is kind of an arc, but I think some other bands have been better at planning it. Like they've been really good at like, this is our aesthetic, where we have been a little bit wider, but of course it's still us in there doing animated stuff and then some completely other stuff. So hopefully people can still see that it's us, even though it's not as like, I think if we start a band today, we would be more like going in, but maybe it's also boring.
Yeah,
I think a lot of modern bands these days, they're so smart and have really thought all of that, the visual side, how to be present on social media. All of their posts are like written in this style and all of that. And I think that's something we've been really bad at from the beginning. We can only be ourselves. We find out, like, we try to be cool and clever, but it just looks weird when we try. So now I think it's about accepting that is maybe our weakness, but it's also our biggest strength in another way.
That makes it. I think authenticity is probably like the key word for you guys. Because if you were trying to like be like kind of big rock stars and tough guys and whatever, I don't think I would buy it necessarily. Because you're very likable, and I think that portrays itself as well in the videos, like the artwork. Hey, this is more about art. Because also like your cover artwork for all the albums are like pieces of art. Who has made like those different like for Inmaces as well? That guy and the Witness, is that the same artist or is it a different artist, or how do you approach that?
They're all different artists, and we have a very complicated way where we have never asked any artist to make an artwork for us.
Okay.
We found artwork that we really like, and then ask the artist, "Hey, can we buy the rights to this?" So that can get you sometimes, it's not possible to get that thing. But like all the 3 artworks that we have made for the albums, I'm really couldn't be happier about. So in the long run, it just takes flicking through Instagram, different artists, for forever. Like I have a list of maybe thousands of artworks that could have been for the last album, and then I send it to the other guys, and it's a stomach feeling in the end. Like this picture fits what we have been making the last year, and it feels too scary to tell someone, an artist, "Hey, we have this album. Listen to this song. Draw something with a skull and something." It feels too scary that it won't feel right in 99.9 of the cases. So it seems better for me to look at stuff, and if it feels right, then let's see if they're willing to sell the rights. So the first artwork was actually one of Asker's friends that had who is an artist that had made that drawing. So that was before Instagram, I guess, even. And the other 2 were found on social media and contacted via that way. But I think we are the only band that I know of that have done it that way.
Yeah, I know it's like a usual thing to do with merchandise artwork, but I haven't really heard anyone do it with cover artwork like that. But it goes back to like the same thing about it's about feeling. So I could imagine that if you made an album and it's not out yet, and you're the only one listening to it, and you have like some kind of certain feelings associated with it, then it could be probably hard to like having to write that down on a piece of paper and telling an artist, this is what it's about, this is the feeling, this is like the more concrete things are, because that is your music to me doesn't really feel that kind of way. So it makes sense that that was your approach, because when you saw, you're like, oh yeah, this fits the feeling I get when I listen to the album.
It's totally like that, because when we have made the album, we don't know what it's about yet, actually. So when we found the artwork for the latest record, Witness, we didn't know the album would be called Witness at that time. It was after we saw the artwork because that looks a little bit like an eye.
Yeah.
And then Asger suggested that, it's a witness that is looking at something, and there's no songs on the album called Witness. So the title of the album came from the artwork, so it adds something that we didn't anticipate. And I think that's also just when you write music yourself, it's really hard to surprise yourself. But that's all I want to do is I can never, when I try and write something by myself, it's really hard to surprise myself and get that feeling of, fuck, this is awesome. I couldn't have made this. But sometimes an accident happened, or you're working with someone else who has an idea that you wouldn't have gotten, and you have an idea he wouldn't have gotten, and then you're surprising each other, and you didn't plan that it was supposed to go that way, but it feels right to go in that direction. So that's how we try and do both music and the visuals.
Yeah.
But of course, with the music videos, it's also just you need some kind of visual element that goes along for the song. So it's not often that we like, we cannot make a music video and then say, this doesn't feel right. That's not the shame. Just a shame that we spend all this money on it.
Yeah.
We kind of have to make it work somehow. Where the artwork we have like been really like it has to be perfect.
Yeah.
There's none of the music videos I've made that I'm happy about. Like so
I know that feeling. I think that's just maybe an artist thing, and also a way of always progressing. Because I feel the same way. But I think, do you have that same feeling with music as well, or is it only visuals you have that feeling?
I have the feeling that we haven't made our best song yet.
Okay,
which is a cool feeling.
It's great to hear. I'm glad.
It would be a shame if I thought we had.
Yeah,
but it's like it's a little scary that you might never find it either. The song. That's that song that's just like next level song. Like it's but yeah, it probably doesn't exist, or just chasing something. That's part of the fun, I guess.
Yeah. What I really like is how you were actually you made the title of the album after you saw the artwork. I love how those things kind of ping pong together. It's not just people, but like visuals as well that could give you creative thoughts. Working on the project VOLA even further. When I saw the 24 Light Years video, I noticed as well that you used the artwork for the album in it. It looks like kind of a black hole. With like a star around it. That was cool because I saw that. I was like, oh, hey, that's the artwork, but it's kind of like hidden in there. And there's also a scene where you can see like some eyes blinking or something like that. So, okay, it's the witness watching whatever. Okay, now I get it. That's cool. I like how you need to get the artists a bit of keywords, and then things starts to make sense. Like the puzzle pieces fit together now. That's really, really cool. And I can totally that feeling of is this done? Like when is something done? And it needs to be at a certain level and has some kind of quality, and then you can say, okay, this is good enough for me to release to this world, and I'm happy now.
And it's also when like you're working a lot with film material.
Yeah,
like, there's a lot of times when we've done film material where it was like you see the edit and you're like, we could. Now I get a great idea.
Yeah.
I wish we could go back and film some more of that. And it's just like too late. Because you get the idea sometimes not at the beginning, But in music videos, you really need to have all the ideas in the beginning. So it's really impossible to make perfect, You always have these changes that you wish you could refilm if you could edit in the end. Edit in the beginning, and film afterwards. That would be great.
Well, if you had $1 million budget, you could just do reshoots. But nobody has that. Yeah. So that's the thing. So I want to just touch a bit on your live shows as well, because I know I've seen you quite a few times now. The latest time was at Stormega with some of my friends in Hero who supported you guys, and you had some crazy light show along with you. You've always had some crazy light show, and that whole there was a point where there was like a haze in the room, and there was like a big laser that like cut the room in half almost, and just went down on the crowd like that. I was just getting goosebumps all over, and you had like a really cool, like almost theatrical beginning with a spotlight only on Asger, him coming and singing the beginning of a song, and then having the band enter, and then like a whole visual experience, like presenting itself with all the light show. And I know you worked with some visual artists on that. Can you tell us a bit like how you approached that whole kind of, how you found that whole kind of live thing?
It's like a few years back, we had never worked with any light technicians. We were all, when we were traveling around playing at festivals, we were just traveling us, and then a sound guy. That was like the budget because it's so expensive and the fees were shit. And but that was like the next level we wanted to start working on, was like, let's do something because we're not the most, our music isn't like very energetic metal. we can be a little bit boring to watch if we don't get any help. So it's like, how can we hide? Like everybody lost me Sugar, for instance, in their live show, but watching them without the light show might be another experience. Still a great band,
Yeah.
but it's just a part of that extra experience. So we wanted to dive into that as well. And I remembered that I had watched a band called Den Sorte Skole, the Black School, which is like a DJ thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then always had this crazy visual slide with lasers and much more insane than what we're doing. And I looked up who they were working with, and that was this lighting collective, I guess it's called, lighting collective. They build mostly sculptures of light that they put up in their museums or different places. But so I think we were the first rock band that they worked with. So I just contacted them, and we were doing it was mid COVID time, so we were planning to do a live
From the pool.
Yeah, live from the pool. What's it called? A streaming event. Like, everybody was doing that back in the day. We couldn't go out on tour. We had Witness out the album, so we wanted to do a streaming event, and we wanted some visual side to go along with that. So that's how we worked with them the first time. So very happy that the first ones I contacted were someone that really had great visions as well. And now we've been working with Amalie from that company since then, and we're about to go to the US where she's joining, and always bringing lights that they make themselves, handmade.
So cool.
So it's really, really cool to have someone. Like, that's another thing I think I want to get across is, as a musician, you cannot do everything, I'm not a music video maker, except for I did a few, and I'm not a light technician or sound guy. Like, you need people you trust to do those things. Finding them can be tricky, but look at bands you like, or try and find someone talented who hasn't, made it yet. To get those, it's all about building a strong team, and that's what I'm very happy that I think we have over the years. Have a great sound guy, great light technicians, and we've been working with Bivasta for a while for music. So I don't have to spend all my time editing, even. It would be fun, but it's just time.
Yeah, you seem busy now.
It's it's the kids, I think I'm making animated. You have kids as well? Or?
I got two as well. Yeah, one 4, one 2 years old. So I feel ya.
Yeah.
But that's just great to hear. Sorry, but we are running out of time right now. I have a lot of more stuff I wanted to ask about, and especially now hearing about the live from the pool. But I want to close off with, you have a music video coming out, if it's not out when this episode is out. And is there something you can spill the beans about already now? Or for me, just personally, I know it's probably out now when the podcast is out, but I'm kind of excited.
Yeah, so am I. It's been a few years since we released new music, so that's always nerve-wracking. Will people listen?
Yeah.
They've forgotten about it. So, it's in music video terms, I guess it's a performance mixed with some story. I guess it's a little bit more direct, this story, actually. A little bit less unclear about the music video has a story. The song has a story that fits with it, but the story of the music isn't necessarily what is portrayed in the music video. But the music videos directors had free hands to do the thing what they would like, and of course we suggested stuff and commented on it, and you'll see the results in the Paper Wolf music video. So it's probably out when you see this, but it's next Thursday that it's coming out.
Yeah,
or Wednesday, I think.
Oh, it's like in a little week.
Yeah.
I am excited about that, Nicolai. Thank you so much for hanging out with me for the past half hour. It was a pleasure, and I hope that we can do it again when you come back from some tours and have released some more music. And let's take a talk about the new album then.
Yeah, would love to come back. It was a pleasure to talk to you, Jacob.
That's great. All right. See you guys.